There I go again, leaving out the end of my video. So we're going to make this a part 2 and finish off what it says in this article after seeing that, like I said I was going to. So an aerial photo shows Rahajim ancient structure stone circles found in Golan Heights. And it is 16 kilometers east of the eastern coast of the Sea of Galilee. So that pinpoints it. This pattern of stone circles was spotted by archaeologists studying an aerial survey of the Golan Heights after 1967 war. The Golan Heights, of which name is known from the biblical city of refuge, Golan in Bashan, which is listed in Deuteronomy 4:43 and Joshua 28, is a hilly area overlooking the upper Jordan River Valley on the west. It is up to 5,000 years old. In fact, they dated off of stuff laying on the ground at 3500 BC. According to most estimates, making it a contemporary of England's Stonehenge, unlike the more famous monument built with about 100 huge stones topped by lintels. The Golan Heights structure is made of piles of thousands of smaller basalt rocks that come from the volcanic area near there that altogether weigh over 40,000 tons. And the first reference to Rephaim is Genesis 14:5, when the Rephaim, Zuzim, and Emim people were defeated in a battle with Kedorlaomer and his allies. And you can see how north it is here, and we're looking at the Galilee, and then the Salt Sea or the Dead Sea that's down here, Moab, so you might get an idea of where we're looking at here, and ancient Sodom, where it was supposed to have been, but and Horam, having to do with Horus and things, but also Ham, and how far north that is really considered, even though they say it's the area of Ham. For really, it was not supposed, they spread from there in the ideas of what they say. But this is Ashtaroth Karnaim, where we're actually talking about, in this kingdom that used to be called Bashan, right? And so what function this really fulfilled in this place, we don't know. All proposed solutions are only that more or less likely theories, but I question that oxidated area right there, and if they could date when that happened at too. There could be an astrological or other ceremonial center, and it looks like that. They were avoiding saying the word temple. On the shortest and longest days of the year, the June and December solstices, the sunrise lines up with openings in the rocks. Among other proposed functions are astronomical observatory, calendar-like construction, so built into the structure itself, which looks like it was living and dwelling and people doing things over and above it. Now this is just that little spot, not any of the others that we were looking at. Standing at the ground inside the complex, it looks like a labyrinth of crumbling stone walls overgrown with weeds. From on top of the 5-meter high burial mound, it is possible to make out a circular pattern. Only from the air does the impressive shape of a massive bullseye clearly emerge. Like bing! Scholars agree that construction started as early as 3500 BC, and other parts may have been added to over the next 2,000 years. What they're referring to is 2,000 years later, it looks like that burial mound was disturbed and or used. In 1968, Professor Jonathan Mitra of the Department of Anthropology at Harvard and Professor Anthony Avini of Colgate University discovered that 3000 BC, the first rays of the summer solstice would have appeared directly through the northeast opening as observed from the central tumulus, while the southeast opening provided a direct view of Sirius. And so now we can see astronomical connections going on. And again, I tell you, this site probably goes back to maybe double of the age that they give it. It's possible it could reach close or more. One function of the circles then was an astronomical observatory and stellar calendar. Or was it? The question is, why would the builders have undertaken such a massive building project, collecting 37 tons of stone and painstakingly laying them down to the last forever, when the same task could have been completed using one rock and a stick? And that's a question that they've put towards it, so I want to, I guess, end it on my answer to that question, because they can. because they're capable, because there are enough people that they could do something great that somehow could be memorable for long, long periods of time. For one rock stuck up someplace and a stick doesn't do that. Building a monument that's in line with a special mountain at an exact certain time is another endeavor. Building something that is a giant structure like Stonehenge that's all lined up is another endeavor entirely. And building something that's barely fit inside of a football stadium that does the same thing accurately at a time before, whenever I was a kid, they were willing to believe that people were just, you got a stick, don't you? You stick, sharpen stick. And we're finding that that is not the case at all, and yet some people are still being taught that. But why would they build up all these stones? Well, if you look near there, there's a whole lot more going on than that. And the Neptunes had this whole thing going on here with all those cattle crawls and everything, and the Neptunes have to do with this very much. There seemed like a couple of spots that were out there that looked very much, but then the other ones don't necessarily or so. Or is this something that's missing from over there, or something that was sacred at this point, like people keep sacreding that one point in Israel, towards something that had happened in ancient times? Is this just some forgotten remnant, or does it have a little bit more importance in the scheme of things than anybody is willing to give it credit for? Like, share, subscribe, guys, and enjoy, and we'll get on to more about this and other similar places. I'm going to go Google lurking a little bit and see what I can find, probably as soon as I finish off a small portion of some series that I have in the works for y'all coming up shortly. Stay safe. Peace.